Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining us here on a regular night for a training. It's Tuesday night here on the 21st. This Saturday, of course, is the Thanksgiving weekend in the United States, so we won't be having any kind of a training on the Saturday. So I thought we'd fit one in here during the week. Tomorrow night, those of you that want to join us, same time, we'll have a bit of an opportunity presentation for guests. So invite your guests out to get a good insight of what's happening, pre the long weekend and where Collect Direct is going. So tonight, I'd like to share with you the compensation plan. I asked that this evening was for members only. That way we could have a very good session on some questions that you might have, sort of get to the nitty gritty of some of the things that you may or may not know about our comp plan. And then as I gather the questions, my wife's out for dinner with her mother who came in tonight. So I'll try to stop and record them down and I'll get the answers for you if I don't have them. I think I know pretty much most insights into what's going on here. So I should do my best. But one way or another, my name is Carson, and here we go. Let's just share my screen and get into what I hope to be a very informative evening on our comp plan. So let me just get the slideshow beginning right here and see where this goes. So just Andrew, thumbs up if you can see that, just to make sure my recording's on. Thank you so much. So folks, I mean, let's spend the time on the comp plan and really get our head around where we're at. So for example, I plan on doing a live Facebook Live from our Christmas tree, and it's our holiday tree. But I got to tell you that I took for granted just how beautiful it is, and what my wife puts into it every year. I mean, it's a big, huge tree. I set it up with her, and then when I went away, I came back, all the decorations on there, and she keeps informing me. And it wasn't until really last year I realized that her mother, who is in town now, keeps bringing an ornament every year, and that's a piece of history. It has something on it that represents the years of the kids and so on. So right from the very first time she was here with our son when he was 1, and then when our daughter 2 years later was 1, there's something on that tree, and there's a lot of the past and different things that were in those ornaments. And I plan on doing that live because I think I can create an environment to create curiosity on what I'm doing, right? Bringing the past to the future. Because to be honest with you, today is 2023, but there's my son's going to be 25 in January, so there's good 25 ornaments on that tree somewhere from over the 25 years. And it's going to be interesting to kind of tell that story. So why do I say that to you? Because, to me, it's super exciting when I look at the ages of the folks that are in this industry right now. And this, I did some research, and all of this research is readily available to all of us. When you look at the ages of people that are getting involved in the direct sales industry, and you look at that 35 to 44 population right now, and you say, man, you know what? They're the largest group here. And there's a reason, because as we get from, especially in today's economy, as we go into our 20s and 25, it's harder and harder for these young adults to get into the home ownership. They're starting to look more and more for ways to be able to get started with new exciting things. And as we get older, we're still involved in a big way. The 3 largest groups here are from 35 to 55 and over. And as part of that is because we want to keep that past that we had maybe success during our big working years to continually drive home some good things for our grandkids. So it's an interesting picture here of the industry. And then when you look at where people are doing the bulk of their marketing and social media, I was a little surprised because I'm not a big LinkedIn guy, but I'm finding, that anytime I've been on LinkedIn, I've seen a lot of people are hitting me up with really professional presentations of questions that is curiosity driven. So they've got the right handle when it comes to curiosity. But, I'm also curious to see, how would I market this on Twitter and so on. So there's a lot of books out there that you can do your own research on the best way to get the message out without saying what it is you're doing. And that's what I've found is the most successful way as I look at how to complement our compensation plan with getting the curiosity out there in some form. So a little bit further detail on where we are is, where's the bulk of the activity happening in network marketing in the world? Well, the second largest population of activity is in the United States and North America. But, look at over in Asia. Look at the amount of folks that are actually participating in this industry over in the Asian market. It's mind-boggling, right? And so you can imagine that as a company, we see that category over there in terms of the collectible space is something we want to entertain at some point because of, baseball players like Otani and his popularity in Japan and so on. So there's a huge market in the world for what we have to offer, and so then you say, okay, well, what about men and women? And we saw this firsthand, folks. For those of you that were at our conference, say 115 people, 120 maybe thereabouts, the predominant room was sorted by men. there was more men in that room than women, but the women that were there were very, very strong and powerful, and their opinions and their conversations were just so amazing. I mean, the presentation that we saw on stage by one of the up and comer leaders in our company was just so professional, and the detail. And so why I share this slide with you is because, here we have the first time in the network industry, I believe, that it's an equal playing field. It's an equal playing field because men and women are joining forces to do this together. Families are joining forces to do this together. And it's exciting to think about that, because it's just not, it ain't just, as Dale says, this ain't that, right? So when you think about where we are, it's a great platform to participate, because we've got the generations on our side, because everybody wants to have something to generate some ongoing income because of the way the world is. We know that the families are coming together to collect things, to celebrate, to sit around the table. So it's powerful. And then when you look a little bit further, you go, okay, well, what are the biggest network marketing companies in the world? And again, it's fascinating to look at the amount of representatives in these different companies. And this was just a recent 2023 slide I grabbed. And I look at Avon at 6.4 million. And, even the Amway company, which is the one that most of us have seen over the years, at one time or another might have been invited to a Amway thing, right? Where, they didn't quite tell you what you're going to, but it ended up being there. And you say, oh, that's what it is. Anyways, why am I sharing this with you? Look at the numbers here. This is fascinating, because not one of these companies is our competition. Not one of them are doing what we're doing. Not one of them has even ever once in the entire history of network marketing for these companies ever participated in the collectible space. Now that's opportunity. And when you look at these slides and you connect out where we are today, the demographics, the direction of the world of the network marketing industry, where the current success stories are, and then you look at us and you go, wait a minute, we just launched 2-3 months ago, officially in end of October. We're debt-free, and we haven't even begun to tip the scale of the amount of items we have on our shopping cart. And for those of you that haven't, keep looking every day. And this is the beautiful thing about our story and our compensation plan. Our customers, once they're educated, will keep coming back over and over and over again to see what's new. And you will see so much fanfare on the front of our site once the vault opens and all the other things that are happening, because you got to tell you this, the company's interest is to have you get customers to repeat. And once they're your customers, they're your customers. So I wanted to start off with that because it leads us to the numbers, right? How are we going to understand our comp plan if we don't understand the industry? And the industry of network marketing is growing, but the collectible industry is dwarfing the network marketing industry. In fact, the collectible industry has more billions than all of the network marketing companies combined in terms of revenue. And as we move forward over the next 8, 9, 10 years, it's expected to just dwarf that 458 billion to $1 trillion. And then when we look at the United States alone, never mind the rest of the world, which is our goal to ship around the world, because we can eventually, but the countries, of course, that we can't, we won't, based on turmoil or whatever's going on in those areas. But the point is, just in the United States alone, there's 200 million Americans that are collecting something. And if you go back a couple of slides now, this is, watch us go back here. Again, I want you to understand the numbers, but before we get excited about the comp plan, 6.4 million members in Avon, predominantly women, right? But 6.4 million. And then we go back here and we say, wait a minute, 200 million collectors. Wait. And then we've taken the playing field from predominantly women to an equal playing field of men and women joining forces. Do you think we have an opportunity? Yes, it's beyond exciting for everybody who's been here and sees this, okay? So as I go forward, I want to break it down first as simple as I possibly can before I get into the detail. The detail at times can be challenging, so I want you to slow me down whenever you have to. But basically, our comp plan is based on 3 basic premises: team building, team coaching rewards, and repeat member and customer overrides. Those are the 3 basic buckets of the Collect Direct compensation plan. Once you understand those 3 buckets and break it down in the detail of the 8 ways we make money, And a couple of those ways are about to get launched as we go forward into 2024, some of the customer acquisition recognition bonuses and so on. The point is, these are the 3 buckets. So let's just try as best you can to fill my training tonight into one of those 3 buckets: team building bonuses, team coaching rewards, and repeat member and customer overrides. So how does it work? Members keep buying because they want to buy. They're creating time capsule pieces. One of the things we've learned in network marketing is as you acquire the wares you need to be able to promote your opportunity, that's a tax-deductible expense within reason. So if I choose to build my time capsule with incredible collectibles that I want to showcase to the new potential members, in theory, that's a tax-deductible expense. In theory, I could depreciate those things. I'm not the accountant here, folks, but I know you can ask those questions in a form or read a book on the details of how to legally understand a reasonable way to have tax deductions. But the point is, on this slide, so simple to point out to you that every customer order pays you over and over again, and your repeat members pay you as well, because we have something in our compensation plan that's rarely ever seen: a unilevel and a dual team structure in the same plan. And I had a fairly high level network expert get on with me just this week that I actually brought to the team out of Ontario when I was at our function out there, which was this great, the Super Bowl of Canada called the Grey Cup. My team lost. I was there though, which was really frustrating. And of course, the Montreal team won. Good on them. I mean, hey, good for Quebec and Canada. They won the CFL award. And I know Andrew's from Quebec, so or out in that east side of the country. He's probably thumbs up. There he goes. Congratulations. But folks, why do I say that to all of you? Is I'm saying that we want people to understand that our goal is to constantly have more people make some money more often. Write that down. That's the network marketing ultimate compensation plan goal, to have more people make some money more often. Now, there's studies done on what the average network marketing member will earn in most companies and what percentage actually get back their initial, what they might call investment, so to speak, if they bought a box of coffee or skincare or hair care or whatever the heck it is that they're promoting, and can they get enough commissions through their efforts to get all that original purchase price back? And the studies say that not everybody does, right? But what's always the case is those that go to work and work hard have a chance, a very good chance to be successful. Now, success is measured in all different ways, and that's why I love this slide. I might have 10 customers that repeat 3 times a year. Well, that's 30 transactions that I actually got paid on what I call a retail reward, because they're buying. I only maybe introduced them to the program once, but they keep coming back because the company lets them know what's going on our marketing campaigns being launched as we speak to go forward. So, folks, it's an exciting time for all of us to really understand the numbers. And I can break this down in a little bit more detail for you tonight. And I want you not to get scared by these numbers. I want you to get motivated by these numbers. Here's the motivation I'm looking for. I've heard great leaders say you're looking for 6. In another program that I had great success at, I was the top earner in the company. I was one of the executives of that program of the year. Had a lot of success. My reasons for not being there today is I'm still there. I still consume the product, but I'm not a promoter in a sense, because I want to be somewhere that I can help more people make some money more often. So I wanted to drill into these numbers, and here's my numbers, right? If you talk to 6 people and get 1 to get really interested, then what did you do with the other 4, right? In this slide alone, it says you've got 1 or 2 that say I might buy something. That's a customer, right? That's awesome. You might make $5, $10, $20. Perfect. But what happens when you put that 1 into another bucket? Now, this is the picture I want you to draw for yourself. You've got now 1 that came out of the 6 sitting in a bucket. Now go do that 6 more times. If you do that 6 more times, you've talked to a total of 36 people. Do the math. The next group of 6, you might get 1. The next group of 6, you might get 1. The next group of 6, you might get 1. 1 what? 1 person really curious about what's going on and wanting to either participate, or they're now an active person buying the product. Now, what happens when you hit 36 and you have 6 somethings? Out of those 6, do it again. Out of those 6, 4 are probably starting to see this as an opportunity. 2 of them are saying, I'm in, Don, I want to do this, and I'm all in, let's go for it. It might take you 36 to get that one leader that you're looking for to actually build this thing long-term for you. Now, here's my timing issue for all of you. What if that took you 3 months to do that? And what if you did that every 3 months? 36 people. And over a period of 1 year, you ended up with 4 real people on your team. Think about that for a second. You talk to 6 to get 1, you do it again, 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 and one more time, and you end up with 6 good people. Not everybody's good people, but 6 that are saying, I'm in. And out of those 6, at the end of your first 3 months, you've got 1 real good person that's doing this with you. Now, the other ones are maybe coming along, dipping their toes and having fun with you, and they're buying product, and you're getting paid residual income because every time they do anything, you get paid. But the 6 turns into 4 during the year if you did that every 3 months. And I love that concept of having 4 people travel the world with me. What if it took you a year to get your 4 leaders? I'm sorry, folks. I went to university and got a Bachelor of Education, and it took me 4 years to do that back in the day. Today, it takes 6 for my daughter. And at the end of those 4 years, I had quite a bit of debt. I'm not cutting down the education system. I'm just saying that my first salary after my 4 years was $22,700 when I was a school teacher. It certainly didn't replace what I was doing during that timeline of 4 years. What if it took you 1 year to get 4 good people, and those 4 good people were actually here to build with you? Could I physically believe that I've replaced my initial startup cost? My gut says yes. Guaranteed nothing, but possibly yes. Remember, help more people make some money more often. That's the basics of network marketing. It's all about the numbers, and you cannot quit before you hit your goal, whatever that is. What is your goal? If your goal is to make $200 extra monthly money because you want to just have that go towards your car payment, then write it down. If your goal is to replace, enough money to be able to not have to ask your boss for a raise, and you make $50,000 a year, and you don't want to ask your boss for a 10% raise, which would be $5,000, and $5,000 divided by 12 would be what per month? Approximately $500. You can't ask them for that, but maybe in 1 year from now, on your 1 year learn and earn education, because that's what this is. If you commit, give us a year, 1 year learn and earn education every week, come to one of these trainings by one of the leaders, there's a chance you might be able to make that extra $200, $300, $400, $500. And then maybe you didn't have to go to your boss and ask for that raise. I'm not ever going to tell you should quit your job. I'm saying to you, replace that income on a part-time basis and then make a decision 2 and 3 years from now. That's the key to network marketing. Now, point, click, share is our model. And how it works is we've got to get very good at understanding the numbers in our comp plan. So now we're going to dig in a little bit, okay? And the digging in talks about the form of the 3 packages of products that we have for a member-only option. So we have 3 available systems that somebody can start up with. Now, you could get all 3 if you chose, of course. You could, start off with the $100 version, which is the Dugout, $99.98, or the sample collection purchase, which is one of the 12 selections that also comes with a gift from our CEO for $279.98, and a bullpen, which is a 16 $29.98 items. I bought all of these packages, okay? And I continue to buy the Dugout every month. But when I look at the numbers, this is how they work. I want you all to look at this slide closely, okay? So I've broken down the 3 packages for you with the 6 buckets of numbers that go into every item of our shopping experience. I believe there's over 12,000 today items in our shopping cart and growing. Go take a look at all the newest things. Walter Payton autographed cards with pieces of his jersey, worn jerseys inside of it. The newest ones that were placed on today, amazing items. But here's the numbers. Let's dig in. And I'm going to give you an example of these numbers, how they work, and I want you to get your head around them tonight on this Zoom. And for those of you that watch this Zoom after. Now, I'm not sure if I have anybody that's waiting in the waiting room or not, but it doesn't really matter. This recording will be posted later. I'll just take a look because I don't have anybody help me out tonight. But I want you to just bear with me here. So let's look at the Dugout. It's a powerful network marketing builder. Folks, we brag about the fact we're going to have more customers one day than network marketing professionals. But I want you all to know one thing first. We're a network marketing company. We are a network marketing company attracting network marketers. We're a network marketing company that duplicates the network marketing philosophies. Throughout this, we get rewarded by the customers in big numbers, we expect, that will buy from our shopping cart on a regular basis. Your job is to have the eyeballs come to your viewing choice. Is it a postcard? Is it a social media post? Is it a trade show? Is it a live presentation at a card show or walking around a sporting event? I gave out 20 of the postcards at the Grey Cup this weekend in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I'm pretty confident I'm going to get 5 either members and 2 or 3 customers because they wanted what I was showing them. And it was so easy to ask them. But let's look at the numbers here. Look at the power of what we call the qualifying volume. Qualifying volume is how you advance in rank. Our company does not let you buy a rank. You cannot buy a rank and collect direct. It makes us very compliant. It also gives us the ability to help people while we teach them how and say, let's learn and earn together. Look at the BV1 and the BV2. It's the same in the dugout. That means it's a very powerful way for you to cycle, which I'm going to teach you tonight a little bit more. The BV on a cycle is 200 on one side and 100 on the other. Again, let's not concentrate too much on that until we get to that slide, but look at the power of 100 QV, 100 BV1 and 100 BV2. BV2 is what you get after the fast start is paid. Notice the fast start's $10 on the dugout. So the BV2 is the same. Why? Because you do not get the fast start on the second order. But it's a very large amount of business volume. The company can't lose money, so it has to, use a percentage of what it can do in its comp plan. So the percentages in the dugout are very high for business volume right from the get-go. So that means that every one of your members that buy a dugout every month absolutely will drive your earnings up because you will get cycles happening quickly. A cycle is how our business volume pays you. The fast start is how the activity of the transaction pays you. A fast start pays you one time. A retail reward pays you every time somebody buys something in the form of a customer purchase. The difference between a customer and a member is a customer does not pay a $9.98 membership. They just want to buy. So for them, they're coded in our system as an RR, a retail reward. So every time they come back as a customer, you get paid whatever that bucket pays. Now, as a rule, they're not buying the dugout because it's not available to the customer. But I wanted to point out clearly to all of you what I was pointing out here is that the fast start is for the members and the retail reward is for the customers. Look at the ULBV1 and the ULBV2. Notice how it goes up. Why does it go up in the ULBV2? Because no fast start is paid. So the company now can use a bigger number to pay the 7 levels of our unilevel pay against. So when we look at 7 levels of our unilevel in a little part of our presentation in a little bit, it's 5% on the first level. So if I take 5% times 90, how much is that? $4.50. So for every person that buys a dugout, here's the fun part of this business now. It's ULBV1 because they're members and you get the $10, right? So you're also getting $10 plus you're getting 5% of 45 because it's the ULBV1 because a fast start was paid. So that's $2.25. Now they come back the next month, you're getting 100 BV and you're getting 450 as ULBV2. So that means you're cycling quicker, you're qualifying faster, and you're getting paid on every transaction from all of your members. Now look at the sample order. Now you get a $50 fast start. Take a look at how much BV you get on the second order. BV2 is 150, which means you can get to your cycle amounts of 200 and 100 quicker. And you look at the ULBV1 of 75 times 5%, you would make $50 plus 5% of 75 on all your first level members. But here's where it gets exciting. If I look at the picture on here and I see Gary, Gray, I see Jackie, I see Thomas. Thomas, you would be on my third level if I physically sponsored Gary as my member. I'm just looking at my pictures on the screen. Okay, so Gary, you would be my level 1 member, which means I would make 5% on you if my rank was such that I was getting paid 3 levels. And I would then make on Thomas 3% because that's the 3rd level of our unilevel plan. That means if Thomas bought a sample order, I would get 3% of the 75, which again would be about $2.20 on his order. And again, this can go on as wide as you possibly want. Bullpens, look at the Fast Start, $150. For those of you that are looking to build your business on your team and then reward them with your help after and coach them, that's not a bad Fast Start reward, $150 for a $479 startup. I'm promoting the bullpen regularly now because I believe it is the way for not only for me to generate cash flow for myself, but also for my new member to have 16 very unique items that they can share. I heard somebody say, well, what do I do with those 16 items? Well, you could sell them, or you could use them as a tool to attract attention. Look what I found. Look what I found. Look what I found. And then look for the comments that say, where did you get that? And then you reach out to them on this private message saying, I went to this website or that website. But I would ask them questions like, well, tell me from what that item is that you liked. And is there anything like that you could describe you'd love? And if they gave you something, chances are we may have it in our shopping cart. And I'm going to show you how you can find that item and send them a link with that item on it. And if they buy, you get paid. So those are the numbers, folks. You can snap a picture. That's the ballpark percentages that are being paid out in our member packages. Now, as we dig down deeper, here's an actual customer transaction. Some of you have seen this slide before, but I'm hoping now you understand these numbers. There are 6 numbers embedded into every one of the items on our website. If there's 12,000 items, every item, Richard Petty, 1998, Mac's 10th anniversary, that card has 6 numbers embedded that you can't see. You start seeing the BV now when you look at the shopping cart, but you now know that those 6 items are hidden inside that number. So then when I look at this page, here's the rough percentages. 16.5% Fast Start. That's plus or minus. So on that total $329 customer order, I made $54.50 of a Fast Start. The QV, qualifying volume, was 260 towards my goal of building towards maybe a superstar, which is 400 QV on the left and 400 QV on the right. Look at the BV, 17.5%. See the 78% number on the QV? That's plus or minus. Why do I say plus or minus? Because you're going to discover that the cost base on many of the items is different. So that Dave has got a formula that adjusts the amount of each of these 6 buckets to every item. So you've got a kind of a scorecard for yourself here, if you like to snap a picture of this, but you can really see how the 6 buckets start working for you. So in other words, on my $329 order, on the second order, if they came back and bought it a second time, I would have made a $10 unilevel pay because I would have made the ULBV of 5% on 198 because that was the second order, and so on and so on. So the percentages in behind here are very much hidden, but they're there on every item. So here are the basic examples, once again, that you see on our comp plan in our back office. When you go to the comp plan, you'll see a sample order of 279 and roughly what the Q qualifying volume is and so on. So let's dig a little bit further. The retail rewards are for the customer payments that we get on every order. So the BV is always the same on the first order, the second order, the third order, it doesn't matter. If the dollar figure is close to these numbers, that's the approximate amount of Fast Start you'll get. In other words, if somebody bought a $119 card or Star Wars or Pez dispenser off of your shopping cart, you would make a $20 Fast Start next Thursday, right? And you'd get 100 qualifying volume. That qualifying volume is what you rank advance with. You do not get commission on qualifying volume. When you look at qualifying volume, it's everything that everybody in the team on your left team and your right team is doing. So every customer order, every member order, every repeat order counts in the bucket on the left, if that's the team that's building qualifying volume. And your goal is to see your rank goal and try to reach that goal by learning and earning and coaching your team. Remember the three buckets at the building, right? The beginning, team building, coaching, rewards. Well, let's dig a little deeper about that. So if I'm saying I want 200 business volume on my left and 100 business volume on the right, it's not just you doing that 200 and 100, it's your team, it's your customers. Now, here's the thing. Customers do not show up in your left or right team. They have the volume that populates your left or right team. What our system does, it puts your customer volume in the lowest leg of your team. If your right leg is smaller, that's where your customer volume will go for your personal customers. Needless to say, your members that you've brought in on your right team, their volume that they have will maybe go on that person's left, but it's still your right. Once you understand and a light bulb goes on, you'll understand that this plan never flushes. It doesn't flush as long as you're qualifying yourself, which means if you're not earning all of your cycles today, it'll sit there in carryover volume and wait for you to get paid. It's a very good, fair way to do the business. But you have to understand that as your customer volume is feeding your weaker leg, that's what it says on the left, as that customer volume is feeding that weaker leg, and this information is in your back office, in your commission section under the compensation plan. You can see these exact slides that I'm showing you here, but I've just blown them up for you. And what your goal is to have team one and team two grow. And you have to understand that every time there's a 200 business volume in one side and 100 in the other, it's called a cycle. And you get a $20 cycle pay. Here's the part that you need to dig into a little bit further, is how many cycles can you earn? Is it unlimited? The answer is no. It's based on your rank. So what do you have to do? You have to understand the dual team commission structure. You have to understand how the volume flows to the left and the right. How do you get it to flow to the left and the right? And how can you decide if you want it to go to the left or the right? And where should you start your team members building when you start them? Should they be on the left or the right? And what team did I join? Did I join Jackie's left or did I join Jackie's right? These are communication skills that you as a sponsor have to be willing to give your new member. You have to help them understand what they should do properly. Because here's the math. There is a maximum you can earn in dual team pay based on your rank. So in my estimation, the first leadership rank that people should be shooting for, which many of the folks on the Zoom and have earned, is the superstar. Because you can earn 800 dual team commissions per week, and you can earn 1,000 of what we call a coaching bonus or a matching bonus per week. In other words, as a superstar, if your business was maximizing, it is possible that somebody could actually make $1,800 per week US as a superstar. It is possible. It would mean that everything would be working perfectly. And again, this is only in a perfect world. The chances of you doing that are pretty slim unless you go to work and you're all in. But those of you that want to dip your toes, what would be wrong with making an extra $100 a week? If that was the maximum as a collector rank, and how do you get to a collector rank? Well, let's dig a little bit further. Because your goal is to get coaching rewards. That was the second bucket. You see, as a superstar, you earn 20% of all of your team members' dual team checks. And there you'll see 4 levels. So going back to my Gary comment, Gary, I would make 20% on him. If he was making $100, I would make 20% of that, assuming I was ranked at the superstar or at the minimum, the home run collector, because that's 20%. But if I was an influencer, I'd get 15% of Gary's $100, which would be $15. And I call that a coaching reward because I'm helping Gary. I'm helping my team member who I sponsored understand how to duplicate. So we look at our bonus structure as something as simple as team building, left and right, coaching, a matching check, and then finally our repeat customer business, which is in the form of, rank advancing so that we can go as deep as we can in what we call a unilevel. So how do we qualify as a superstar? That's the goal for many of you. As you start, you have 0 volume on the left, 0 volume on your right, and you have to start building qualifying volume. Qualifying volume comes from all customer orders and all members orders on your team on the left and your team on the right. If we dig into superstar, you need to have 400 qualifying volume on your left. And notice what the line says right above the 400 QV. It says minimum QV lesser dual team leg in a month. So the entire month, you're qualified. Both legs have to have a minimum of 400 QV from you and a team that you have brought in, or your upline has been sponsoring below you. But you have to contribute, and that's this number right here. It's called an EQV. Enrollment volume of 100, you have to contribute. And there's a way to do that properly that I'm going to show you, a technique that I teach my new members. And I'm going to encourage you to look at this as being an option. But if the person that brought you in has a different philosophy, by all means, follow the team's philosophy. But here's the philosophy that I like. If I want to reach diamond status, I would need 1,500 EQV, which is enrollment qualifying volume. My enrollments, my people bringing into that leg at least 1,500. Yes, I need 15,000 on the left and 15,000 on the right, minimum. But out of each of those legs, I had to have contributed. There's no just sit down and wait. You've got to go to work. So let's go a little bit further detail. How do I bring people to the team? Well, in our back office is a replicating link. Every one of you, when you get a membership, log in with your username, your password. You get into the system, you'll see 3 buckets: dual team, unilevel, and replicated site. And what we want you to do is click on that replicating site, and you'll see this pop up. There is your username, in this case. That, when you hit it, allows you to copy this into the cloud, go to your text, go to your email, go to your Facebook, go to your LinkedIn, go to your social media, and paste it. You now have your duplicating link that is attached to your website. And then you can start building your team. But where are they going to go if they join? Now you click on the dual team button, and you'll see this screen pop up. You'll see placement settings. It's important for you to know that the company presets the placement settings at alternate. Alternate means it'll automatically go left and right. In other words, if you're doing some marketing and people are coming to your website without you even talking to them, one's going to go to the left, one's going to go to the right. One's going to go to the left, one's going to go to the right, if you leave it set at alternate. But that's not what I'm suggesting you do. My coaching technique for my team building is to say, okay, we're going to build 2 teams. We want our teams to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, all over every time zone as this company expands around the globe. So what we want to do is we want to have unlimited team building potential based on the website traffic and the retail partners that come into our business. That's my thinking, okay? So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to duplicate this system. Notice this is my left side, this is my right side. In this example, this is you, each and every one of you. You need to know if this is me, I want you to tell me you joined, Don, on my right team. Gary says, Don, you joined on my right team. I'm calling this right, and I'm calling this left. You might call this team 1, team 2. You may call this team A, team B, whatever works for you. But I'm saying, Gary, what side did I join on your business? Or Gary came to me first off and says, Don, we have a philosophy in our team and we duplicate. What does that mean, Gary? Well, what team you joined was my right power leg, my team, my team on the right, my team 2. No stronger than team 1, but it just happens you're on team 2. Well, what does that mean, Gary? Well, here's what I want you to do, Don. I want you to turn your placement setting to the right. Instead of an alternate, you turn it to the right. Save it. What this does is it lets me support Gary in the team he placed me in, and I bring my first 1 or 2 new members into the right team. Why do I want to do that? Because I want to duplicate that and drive that right team as far into wherever as it can go. It's an infinite depth. If everybody on team B starts off building their first couple to the right, it'll keep growing and growing and growing. Once you get your first 2 on the right, in my case, Gary says, okay, great, Don, you got George and you got Debbie. Awesome. Why don't you turn your placement setting to the left now and start building your left team? That's the philosophy that I teach. When the team would start now on the left, it might be Thomas now that I brought that came in. Thomas would come up to this gentleman right here, which was me, Don, and say, Don, what team did I join? I say to Thomas, well, you joined on my left team, Thomas. Well, what do I do, Don? Turn your placement setting to the left. Bring your first couple to the left, Thomas, and tell all your new people on the left to do the same thing. That's the philosophy that works the best from my research in a dual team structure. Now, you can do what you think's best, but I can tell you, if you want to earn the maximum, which is 100,000 US per week, which is a ridiculously high number, but it is what our comp plan will pay in our dual team build alone. Folks, if you have 6 members that go to the top of this plan and are earning 100,000 US per week, as crazy as it is, you would be making 20% of that weekly as well, which is 20,000 per week matching bonus on each of them. And I know of plans that people have made more on the matching coaching checks than they did on the building of the 2 teams. That's possible with a dual team, but be realistic. What's realistic? Let's go make some money more often. So as you go into this program, there's a couple of basics that you're going to teach your organization and how you're going to get them to understand this comp plan. As I go a little bit further, I want you to know that there is a difference. See, in your membership, there's where the membership only orders are. Go to your member login, go to Discover Collections, and there are the 3 of them: sample, dugout, bullpen. There are videos embedded into all 3 of those little sample buttons that tell you what the sample, dugout, and bullpen is. That's new. That's there. It's exciting. And take advantage of that. Play that for your people. Show them the benefits. And then, if you want, tell them the benefit of the dugout. Tell them the benefit of the sample order, volume. It's almost too much to share the 6 buckets of information day one with a new member. Instead, teach them the 3 ways we make money. Remember what they were? Team building, coaching, and repeat customers and members. That's our comp plan. You start with the first 3 items and let the time go by before they're ready to get these numbers. That's why I wanted you all to be members so I could drill in a little deeper tonight. 16 $29.98 items, right? Some of them are really incredible. Some of them are great value. People have proved it already. You decide what you want to do with them. Then show people where the collectibles are on our website. When they get to the shop collection button, and I was in the Grey Cup and I asked questions about favorite players, and I was able to go and educate them on where to find in my plan, all I kept thinking about is repeat customer commission. 7 levels from 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, and 1 are possible from your customers and your membership. And when you drill into it, here's how the levels work. You see, I'm at the top of this right here, and I right here in this illustration have 6 customers that I've brought into the business. They're on my level 1, which means I'm making 5% of whatever they purchase every time they purchase. One of them chose to be a member. Remember what I said? 6421. There's my new member. They're still on my first level. So I get 5% of their unilevel BV. They decide they want to start their own customer base. Look how many customers that my new member has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, they're on my level 2. In our comp plan, that would be 4%. It has nothing to do with the dual team. This means that every customer, every member are participating with paying you retail reward or membership rewards in the unilevel pay every time they order anything. Never seen before in my world. Always understand that you're getting paid every transaction. You're making some actual money. Yes, you're getting volume, but you're also making unilevel pay if they fall within your 7 levels of your pay, if you're qualified to earn 7 levels of pay based on your rank. Look what happened in my team here. So here I am. There's my level 1. There's all my level 2s. Now my first member here says, hey, I'm going to join. I want to be part of this. And they go and bring 3 customers into the business. Well, that would be now my 3rd level of my unilevel plan. But here's the thing, folks. The volume from these 3 may go to the left or the right of my business volume on my dual team. It's the weaker team. It really doesn't matter. This is just for illustration purposes. This is not something you're going to see visibly in your dual team ever. You'll never see your Aunt Sally, who is a customer, in your dual team visual structure, but you'll see the volume and you'll see their name when you look at the unilevel viewer in your back office. It's a very interesting compensation plan because you're getting paid on every transaction. You're getting volume on every transaction, plus you're getting qualifying volume on every transaction. Oh, wait a minute. I got another person that popped in as a member, right? So now when I got my third person that becomes a member, they're also on my level 2, and all of their customers are on my level 3. They're on this new member's level 1. So my member's getting 5% on these customers, but I'm getting 4% because that's 5%, 4%, 3%, and that's what that shows you. So as you start seeing examples here, on a level 3 order of a $279, you'd get 3%, which might be $3.75, because the unilevel BV on that first order, if a fast start was paid, was 125. But then it goes up to 250 when no fast start's paid, and you start making 750. So if all 3 of these or 4 of these people bought a $279 order, I would get on my 1, 2, 3rd level here in this example, 750, 750, 750, 750. One day, folks, our unilevel will be some of the largest earning parts of our company because of the way it pays every customer and every member. Okay, so I'd like to just sort of, before I go to the next slide, does anybody have a question on what I've covered so far? And let's just kind of pause it and just kind of keep going a little bit. Anybody got a question on this so far? Have I done that good a job, or have I bored that out of you? Jackie.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify something, John. I don't know if it's just a print, but with the ball pen, is it $100 fast start or is it 150? Because there seemed to be conflicting of print in 2 slides.
It's 150.
Okay.
On the bullpen, it's $150 fast start. Yeah. Dave wants the bullpen to be a very rewarding part of our compensation plan for our members to build their network business right out of the gate. And that $150 is a good return. If you do the percentage, it's a nice percentage. That
just one more question on whether they decide to buy a sample pack or if they get a bullpen or the dugout, however they decide to start, how we guide them in that direction for their choice. If they chose to purchase one item that was equivalent to $280, the same as a sample, that would be just out. If they bought a Barbie doll, it was worth $280. We would get a fast start of $50. And if it was
yes,
yeah, and the same for the bullpen. If they bought the equivalent in monetary value in items for their first purchase, we would get 150 fast start.
No. See, the way we look at it is plus or minus. So the 150 is a strong payout for the bullpen because Dave's putting items in there that he's done the math that he can pay that much. So when you look at one of the slides I shared earlier, it gives you a plus and minus number percentage on what fast start would be. It all comes down to what the cost base of that item was in his calculations. But so generally, I can tell you it's 150 for the bullpen, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be exactly 150 on the exact $479 purchase of something else. Could be close, though. Could be close.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else have a question?
I do.
Yes.
You being on the top, can anybody else outrank you on the top? So let's say somebody on your 3rd level, can they make more than the top guy?
Yes. Yes. There's unlimited earnings up to the compensation plan maximum based on your rank. And there's nothing that holds anybody from being a larger rank than you. If you've brought them into your team, they can out earn you. Absolutely. You got to remember, I'm not sure what your name is, sir. You got to remember that if your rank is lower than them, remember, you can't get as many cycles as possible. You may not get the same amount of depth in your unilevel pay and your matching check. They may be out of your matching check pay because you haven't reached that rank yet. So you're always working to build your team left and right. You're always working to have your upline tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And it's important for you to understand that. So the quick answer to your question was absolutely the people that you bring in and the people that came into your team could out earn you for sure.
Okay. The name is Mario, by the way.
Pardon me? Oh, Mario. Nice to meet you, Mario. Thank you. Anybody else have a question on this point?
Yeah, Don, in my experience, you want everybody below you to pass you because if they do, they'll make you rich.
You know, it's funny, Patrick. The thing about that is in network marketing, they used to always say that the person at the front of the room with the felt pen was making the most money. And the truth of the matter is, it was the person at the back of the room that taught the person at the front of the room to get with the felt pen that makes the most money. So you're constantly teaching others to teach others to teach. And it's a duplication of numbers. So I love the fact that we get paid a coaching reward or a matching check on teams that are building. And our goal should always be to have your team members earn. And if they're not earning, you don't make anything. So it's so important. Our plan is geared around strength of coaching and duplicating. So thanks for your point there, Patrick. Okay, so no other questions on this. Let's just advance a little bit. So as we go into our method of recruiting on the fly, I love that we get paid unilevel pay on every one of these items. Absolutely. I don't care if they're a customer or a member. So this little chain link inside all of the items inside our collectible section of our back office is where you can click on that. And when you click on that, you're going to add that item to a copy and paste link that you can send to them. And I did that 10 times on the weekend. I sent out their favorite NFL player. I sent out a couple of Canadian Football League packages I found. I sent out a couple of hockey greats that they wanted. And all I did is go and find it. I put the name of that player in there. One of them was in Toronto, so it was Austin Matthews. I found an Austin Matthews card. I clicked on the link. I asked the person right there, hey, give me your cell number. I'll send this to you and you can see what you think. And they never hesitated. They gave me their cell number. I pasted that link. And when they got that link, they were connected now to me. If they bought, I got paid. If they bought, they were able to look at my collection and search. They could go in and look for more hockey. They could look for sci-fi. It didn't matter. The point was this little chain link connected them to me. That's our web platform that point, click, and shares our growth. So don't hesitate sharing because it's not available in the regular website. Your customers don't have a link. You see, customers can't make money. So they don't get the link. The link is in the form of your back office as a member. Your $9.98 once a year gives you the ability to actually share every item in our website for you to have a chance to get a retail reward, make some money more often. But your members get to search the same items at the same price as you, and there's a good chance they're going to find some incredible deals. I know of people that have been bragging about finding $999 items that are $1,500 just sold recently on eBay. Dave's never going to be the highest or the lowest, but he's going to have a fair number. But remember, we're paying 35 to 40% commissions on all of these items. So there has to be room in there, right? So as we dig into it and we say, how do we promote it? I'm choosing to use the postcard program. It's working very well for me. collectdirectcards.com. If you type that in, you can fill in your information. Those will be shipped out to you very quickly from our supplier. And you can start handing these out. One side is our magazine, which is 52 pages for credibility. And the other side lets you link to your actual website and username page. And if they buy, you get paid. This postcard is like a little foot soldier. I handed out 20. I've handed out at least 100 in the last 30 days. So I don't know how many of that will generate in customers for me, but I do always like to get a cell number when I get it. If you're wanting them to join your team, you've got to direct them to the bottom of the footer. The very bottom of the footer is where the join our team section is. And what does join our team mean? It means they have a chance to watch the video on what it means to get in for free, or what does it mean to be a club member. There's 2 videos embedded there. So the join our team opens this up. You direct them to this area, folks. Once they look at this, they'll get the benefits of what it means to be a member in Collect Direct. And then once they're a member, drive them to your Facebook group. Facebook has a nice private group called Collect Direct inside it. Make sure they tell, hey, so-and-so asked me to join. Join our TAP program here where it says, hey, take a picture of this. This is live, by the way. So if you want to take a picture of this right now with your phone, it will give you a chance to get text every time we do one of these Zooms. And it'll come to you automatically, okay? So that's part of our program as well. And for a live presentation, for those of you that are interested, I'm doing this in Florida on December 10th. At this particular clubhouse, it's free. It'll be at 2:30 to 4 o'clock at the Island Lakes Clubhouse in Merritt Island, Florida. All are welcome. Send guests to it. Make sure they say who invited them, and we'll give them the best chance we can to help them understand why collect, why now. So with that said, we've covered a lot tonight already, and I think there's probably a good chance. And I look at looking at all the people that never got to get in here, I apologize to them because I didn't have a helper tonight. Sorry, folks, you'll have to watch the recording after those of you that jumped in and into the recording late. But anybody have any questions or comments on where you're seeing things going? I know that was about a 55-minute presentation, 57-minute presentation. Again, keep going back to the website. Look what's new. There's a new program with the cards now. On the third card available, there's a new bucket of cards being put on the website now called Team Up With Us. 100 cards from all the different cities that you can pick, that you can actually attach one of those cards to that postcard and start lead generating with actual memorabilia for that team or that area or that sports or that musician. Dave's going to have multiple different packages available from different prices, and they are BV-able. So our marketing material is not just to, they cost you money, so you're going to get benefit of volume with them as well. Okay, so I've got some questions up here. So I think I saw David's hand up. Go ahead, David. You go ahead first.
Initially, will there be a button that will tell us at what point I'm sorry. Will we get an email when someone joins our team?
Yes. I've been getting, this week I had 3 emails from the company congratulating me on so-and-so making a purchase and asking me to give them a call and offer them some help. So that's starting now, yes.
Okay, I also wanted to ask, in the back, in the scorecard area, in the back where it says GBV, now is that just strictly, are those purchases? Is that volume or purchases?
That's the business volume you would be getting cycle pay on. The QV is the qualifying volume for rank. So group QV would be the combined qualifying volume on your left team or your right team that helps you rank advance to superstar and eventually work your way up to the diamond level. So group BV would be the amount of BV coming in your team that either you or others have added. But there's also one there that says your enrollment, your personal BV that you've encouraged to join. And that number has to be based on your rank choice that you're shooting for. You have to look at that number and say, hey, I'm qualified. I'm contributing to both of the legs, my own personal effort, my own personal customers. That answer your question, Dave?
Yeah, somewhat.
Keep going.
Also on the so in August, did any of the qualifying volume or the ranks in August count, or was that all test?
No, it did. You would have, if you had 400 QV on your left and 400 QV on the right, you would have been a superstar status. If you had contributed 100 to one of those legs, you would be a permanent executive title of superstar, but during the month you re-qualify for the next month, but you'll always be recognized as a superstar. That would have been in August and September and October and now November.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Jackie?
Yeah, Don, I just know the postcards, just that what happened for those that have got Australians on board, which works in with what you were talking about earlier, is having them as a great marketing tool. So Stan, who has created the template for it, if you've got Australians there, you've just got to go in and order them, but just send an email through to him and tell him that you are in Australia. And he is actually charging $20 US per card for the template that you're wanting. And then you can take it to whatever printer that you want in Australia. So it's saving us on postage. And I ordered mine through Vistaprint yesterday. He set it all up. He did it backwards and forwards. I CC'd Don in it so he could see how easy it was and how efficient he was. So he put our cell numbers on there, which is different to the US and Canada because it didn't have it didn't conform for what we needed in our numbers internationally. And it was so easy. So we're not having to pay shipping, but we do have our own templates to take to our choice where we want to get them printed at. And mine will be here tomorrow through Vistaprint. So it's really quick.
I think you actually personalized them a little bit more for Australia too, did you not, if I understand?
He did. Well, I asked him to please, if he could, put both my husband's and my name and our phone number and email on there, and he did that very easily, very quickly. And so we now have a great postcard for both of us to hand out. We ordered the two of them, the second and third one, which cost us $40 US, but we've got those templates now for life to be able to just send them to Vista. And I've already ordered them. They'll be here. And just for the record, I just think it's really great of Collect Direct and for Stan to do that, because it saved us 50% here in
Okay,
Australia.
awesome. Good,
that
good
way.
feedback. Awesome. Okay, well, listen, folks, anybody got any other questions on the comp plan or anything else that we've covered tonight? Again, if you haven't ordered Morgan Dollars, the website, eventually you'll start seeing more and more what's new, what's exciting on the front, and how it'll get rotated, which is exciting. But currently that Morgan Dollar collection is pretty popular. So they're only there while they're available. So no telling what you're going to get. I will send that to Andrew, to you. You can give me some feedback on what these are worth. I have no idea. But apparently it could be fairly pricey. So, okay, everyone, I'm going to turn the recording off. Thanks for, oh, I see one more hand up. Go right ahead. I can't, it's a piece of Denise or Dennis. I can barely read it. Sorry. Hands up. Anybody? Go ahead. You can unmute yourself. Ask to unmute. Going.
I'm here.
There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, good.
I just wanted to clarify the address on the event on the 10th of December. It's not Woodstock Drive, it's Woodstork Drive.
Woodstock Drive. Okay, Merritt Island.
Yeah. Jimmy said it was supposed to be fixed, but it's still showing as Woodstock
Okay,
Drive.
we'll get that reposted tomorrow for those of you that might want to send guests out to that on the 10th of December.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Thanks, everyone.
everybody.
Okay, everyone. Take care. Hope that tonight's helped you, and I'll post it as soon as it's available. Take care, everyone.